Hey everyone, when you write the command await page.click, Playwright does not blindly go and do a mouse click. Before every single click action, Playwright runs a 4-step actionability engine under the hood, as you can see in this flow diagram. So the first thing it does is checks whether the element is actually attached and visible. That is the element in the DOM present there and is actually visible on the screen? If yes, it does the next check whether the element is stable, that it is not moving or animating, so it is really stopped moving and it is really stable. So if that is true, it moves to the next check. It checks whether the element is actually enabled and not marked as disabled. If that is true, it does the final step where it receives the event. So it checks whether the element is the topmost element at that point. That is, the element is not hidden by an overlay, spinner or a header or anything that is blocking the element. So if nothing is blocking the element and the element is clear for interaction, so it finally goes and does the click event. That is, it clicks on the link or button. So if any of these checks fail, what happens? Playwright does not crash. It loops back to the auto wait loop. It goes back to the auto wait mode, and then it goes to the auto wait loop and then waits until all checks are passed. So all these checks, if any of them fails, it goes to the auto wait, and then if step 2 fails, it goes to the auto wait loop, and then maybe the element is stable and it goes to the next check, and only when all the 4 checks are passed, it waits. Or there are two things: it waits and it loops until all checks pass, or your timeout expires. If any of these happens, it fails, but until then it keeps looping. So let's look at a demo so you can see how it is happening in the real world scenario. So here we have the example from the practice.expandtesting.com. So the initial stage here, our target element is already attached to the DOM. The hello world text is already present in the DOM, but it is set to display none. So you can see here, so that text, since the text is displayed has a property as a style with the value of display none, it is not visible on the page, but it is present in the DOM. So when we click the start button, a loading bar appears on the screen, and when the script runs, so here's my example Playwright script. So the script clicks the start button and then the loading bar appears here, and even at that time this hello world text is still hidden. So Playwright gets stuck in that auto wait loop. So here you can see when I click the start button, so that's what this step does. And then Playwright pauses here. So pauses means it waits, PAUSE, that one. And you can see here when it is loading, so it cannot click it waits for the loading condition to happen, and it waits for the hello world text to be really visible on the screen. So that's what happens. So let's walk through from the beginning. So let's keep this flow as a reference. So when the script clicks the start button, so Playwright actually goes through this first check. Is the element visible? The hello world, it is not visible yet, but after a few seconds it is visible. So until it is, so this first check fails, so it goes through the auto loop, and once the text is displayed on the screen, it is then goes through the check, the number 2 in the flow. So the element is stable, the text is stable, and then it goes to the next check whether this text is enabled. This is, of course, it is a text, so it is enabled, and then it does the final check whether the spinner is actually nothing is overlaying this target text. There is no spinner or any other loading element or a pop-up hiding this page. So you can see that as the loading bar appears, so as soon as the this loading is the one that is masking this text. So as soon as the spinner disappears, this condition number, the step 4 passes. There is no, in other words, the hello world is the topmost text. So in the beginning the loading bar was there and it was like a overlaying thing. Once it disappears, the real text appears. So all the checks passes and then it exits the wait loop and then it fires the real mouse event, which is the click action. So you can see the code here. So we don't need to explicitly say wait for timeout of 5000 milliseconds or add any manual sleeps. Playwright just evaluates the page against this 4-step flow automatically. So for more information on this mechanics, you can check out the official Playwright actionability documentation. I will leave the link in the description, and thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.